Yo YouTube! This is my video for Wednesday the 30th of October, which is today, and it is now 6:49 AM, and because it's getting so dark at the end of the day, and because I now know how to edit video a little bit, I'm going to try doing my daily on the road videos in little snippets throughout the day, and then hopefully at the end of the day I'll have time to stick it together without wasting too much time trying to add bells and whistles to the videos. That's the dangerous bit. So yesterday, while in dialysis, I got bidding very early, from about 1:30, and I was really mindful that currently it's quite hard to get any job, never mind a job paying a decent amount of the CX. So I started off bidding my usual rate, which for the sake of the record here, I would like to get ideally £1.30 per mile, roughly speaking at least, for a long wheelbase van job, which I think is fair. I'd like to get £1 a mile for a medium wheelbase job, and I tend to go at the moment for 90p to £1 for small van work. There's very little difference in my mind between the pricing between small van and medium wheelbase, but tending to find that going down to 80p a mile for small van work is probably more realistic, particularly if you're trying to get back from somewhere in the country, although nowadays even that's not that realistic. So that's vaguely what I'm looking to get. So at the moment though, there's no way I can get, for most jobs, £1.30 for long wheelbase van work. So I was starting to bid yesterday on long wheelbase van work for about £1.10 per mile, and I thought that was a good compromise between a fair rate for the job and be able to win a job off the CX. But that didn't work, and I was bidding for the following morning, this morning, and so the distance from the job wasn't relevant. I could have got to any job on time, and I bid on a couple of jobs at £1.10 and didn't get them, and they were really in not very busy areas. I can't remember what they were exactly, and I said, this is ridiculous. So I thought I'm going to have to start bidding at £1 a mile for long wheelbase work. That's really is a bit too cheap. But if it's a long distance job and it gets me started, then I'd rather do that than not get anything at all. So I was bidding on all sorts of work, and then a job was given to me, but in the end it was a small van job, and I actually got quite a good rate for it. And I think I know why, or I'm guessing I know why. So the job I'm doing now is a small van job. It's 96 loaded miles, and I put a bid on of £90, 90, and I got that pretty quickly. And the reason why I think I got it is because it's from Lincoln, and I don't believe there's a lot of drivers that will collect from Lincoln in the morning. The only problem for me is that Lincoln is an hour's drive away. It's 40 miles away, and it was an 8 o'clock pickup. So I was very pleased to get that job. It's going to Oldbury, near Birmingham. Either near or in Birmingham, I don't know yet. I know it's a B postcode. And it's a reasonably long distance, and it gets me started. And it gets me started early as well, so I won't have a lot of wasted day looking for a job this morning. So there's a lot of positives about this. The distance of it, the price I'm getting for it, and also the fact that I'm going to be starting early, so I can have a long day and maybe make some decent money today. So, off the back of yesterday's video, I am very optimistic today. I'm starting my journey now to do my day. I'm looking forward to the day ahead, and I'm looking forward to earning a reasonable amount of money off the CX, because at the moment it's been a good start, £90, and I'll be in Birmingham at around about, I'm guessing around about 10ish, 10:30. and so it's looking like I might get at least 3 jobs in today, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes well. Now, throughout the day, I'm looking forward to having to grind out. Looking forward is the wrong word. I'm expecting to grind out bids on the CX to try and get my next job, and I just have to be really mindful about where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do what I'm going to price, so that I end up somewhere near home tonight, having earned the money I need to earn. And that's the only job today, like it is every day. I leave the house with one target in mind: get back home tonight, doesn't matter what time, but make the money you have to make a living. And that's all it is all about. It's very simple. Very simple on the face of it. Achieving that is quite difficult. It requires some flexibility and it requires some hard work. But that's my daily sort of aim, and today's no different. Right, so I've just picked up my load from Lincoln, and I arrived at 7:50, just after 7:50, and I've just left. It's 8:15. When I first arrived, they didn't really know what I was there for. I had very limited information to give them on my app. I could just tell them who I was working for and where I was going, and they made some calls, and then they've got the items that I'm taking now. 3 items to take as an internal transfer between 2 higher places. Interestingly, I had a conversation with the guy loading me, who asked me what I get paid for this job, and I didn't give him a specific amount for this job. I gave him a sort of a rough idea about what I need to earn per day, and the fact that I'm self-employed. And it's happened to me twice now recently that someone's asked me about the work I do, and is it is it worth? Does it pay? And what I took that to mean, well, he actually said he was looking at other options. So obviously there are people out there who work in places we go to deliver and collect from that aren't that happy with their work, and they would like to look at other options. And so this job does seem appealing to some people, and there is definitely, I think, a demand for people to want to do this sort of work and to know more about it, which is kind of why I started my channel in the first place. So I think it's always going to be there, isn't it? There's always going to be people who want to do something different with their lives and want to try new things, and they can only get information from people who know that. And I think that's the beauty of YouTube. It's a free source of information for people who are looking to find out about things they don't know about. Anyway, I sort of made it clear it was tough at the moment, but I enjoyed the job. That's how I left it. So I'm on my way to Oldbury. My Google Maps is slightly orange at the moment, which means there's some delays along the route, although not extreme. But it could just be this bit of traffic I'm in now coming out of Lincoln, and it might be that later on it's clear. I'm due to be there in 2.5 hours, so I shall update you when I have offloaded and hopefully found my next well-paying, amazing job. Right, I'm back. So the time now is 11:39. I had a call 2 minutes ago to give me my second job, which is going from Cradley Heath to Warwick. And I arrived at my drop-off point in Oldbury and got that offloaded by 11:15. And when I parked up outside the depot I delivered to, I had a look at the jobs, and there was loads and loads of local jobs around the Birmingham area. So different to my area for obvious reasons. There was so much, I would say, choice. I got to choose basically how far away I would put bids on. There was, I basically went with nothing more than half an hour away, and actually more like 20 within 15 minutes, 20 minutes would be what I'm looking for. So I was starting off bidding on stuff that was closest to me, and I went with, and a lot of it was short jobs, sort of minimum priced small van or short wheelbase van work, with the odd long wheelbase work. A lot of it was going to sort of the Gloucester area, Worcester. When I say a lot, I mean a significant number was going there, but I just didn't feel that was suitable. There's a few going towards London and sort of Oxfordshire way, but probably about half of all the jobs I saw advertised were within about 20 or 30 miles. So from one side of Birmingham to the other, or in the case of the one that I got, going to Warwick. So I'm going from Cradley Heath to Warwick, and the rationale, apart from it just being any job, is I think Warwick's a better place for me to be based for my third job than back in Birmingham. I'll have a chance to sort of have a basically go anywhere from there. There should be plenty of work from Warwick or Coventry, or maybe even, depending on which part of Warwick, as far as Leicester, or even the east side of Birmingham I can collect from, and I can get more choice, and there'll be slightly less drivers than there are in Birmingham itself. So I'm happy with that. I bid initially my usual £50 for short wheelbase work as a minimum, and £60 for one long wheelbase job, but I quickly found out none of that was going to work. The jobs were just being sold quickly, so I went down £45, and then I was going to go down, if I had to, something I was very close to £40. But the job I got in the end was for a short wheelbase van job, £45 for 36 loaded miles. So I'm actually quite happy with that, bearing in mind it only took me about 17 minutes to get the job from finishing the other job. And I'm on my way, and I'm only, as I said, I'm only 14 minutes away from the pickup point, Cradley Heath, and this is including this bit of delayed traffic I'm in at the moment. It's only 4 miles between Albury and Cradley Heath, so cutting down on the dead miles for today. So I'm hoping that it is the middle part of a good day. It's really hard to tell. As I said in one of my other videos, you can't really tell to the last job of the day whether your day's worked out or not. Right now, the day could go either way. It could be really poorly paid, or really well paid, or just average. So as a quick summary, I've now earned, or when I finish this job, I will have earned £135 gross. So about half what I need to earn for the day, and I'll be slightly behind in terms of my schedule, because it'll be around about 1 o'clock before I get a chance to bid on my third job, and I suspect it might get quiet between 1 and 2. Often that is the case, so it's all a bit up in the air still as to what's going to happen, but I'll let you know. It's now 2 o'clock, and I dropped off my second job, and I was offside at 1 o'clock, and this last hour has really been difficult, and I'm glad I'm doing these videos in the moment, because I want to sort of talk about the last hour. And this is typical of what it's like at the moment working on the CX. So I was in a really quite good area. I was in Warwick, so that's close to Coventry, Rugby, Leamington Spa, Warwick itself. It's the right side for Birmingham, as in East Birmingham, sort of Sutton Coldfield. Even Tamworth isn't that far away, although it's pushing it a bit. Even going towards Northampton, so that's the same sort of distance away the other way. So there's lots of possibilities for jobs. And I started off bidding, and there was quite a lot of jobs. I started off bidding at £45 for sort of a minimum price job, and then I started, because I wasn't getting those, looking at London jobs, thinking, well, if I did a London job, went home, then maybe I could do that now, even though it's only 1 o'clock, or just past 1 o'clock. And I wasn't getting London jobs. I put a bid on at 80p a mile, and I was sort of on jobs that I was sort of within 10 minutes of. A couple of jobs from Warwick, I was in 10 minutes away, and I put 80p a mile on and didn't get them. So I had a look at the drivers that were in my area. It's going to be about 1:30, and around about that time there were 12 active drivers in and around Warwick. It was ridiculously busy. I looked north towards Coventry. There's drivers there. They're active. Back towards Birmingham, along the west, there was more drivers. I was in the middle of a sea of drivers and not very many jobs. So I just didn't know what to do. The only thing I could think of doing was taking those really awkward jobs. There's a job going to Scunthorpe, leaving at 3 o'clock from Redditch. I thought that's a perfect job for me. I'll do it. I'll put some extra money on. Medium wage job. I put a reasonable amount of money on, but didn't get that. So someone else was going to do that at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So it got really quite tiring, quite difficult. So I went down to I started going down to 75p a mile rather than 80p a mile. I did 75p a mile for these jobs, and then eventually at about 4 minutes ago, so just before 2 o'clock, I had a call from a bid that I put on ages ago that was going from Nuneaton to Tuxford. Now I don't know where Tuxford is, but it has an NG postcode, so it's near Nottingham. A quick look at the map, and it was about north of Mansfield. So it was getting me in the right general direction, and I put a bid on of £50 for 66 loaded miles, and it's a car job. And I'm 24 miles away from Nuneaton, half an hour away. And I got a call about this, offering me this job. And I thought, oh, finally I've got a job. And the cherry on the icing of the shit cake is that the shipper said, can you go to £45? So I worked out the mileage on that. I worked out the pence per mile on £45 over 66 miles. And that was 68p a mile. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't do it for that cheap. And she said, oh, it's a shame because we had a driver bid £40, but you had better feedback. So they were offering to me £45 off my bid of 50. See, my bid of £50 was 76p a mile. That's cheap in itself. And so I bit my pride, as it were. I held in my pride. And I said, fair enough, yeah, I'll do that for you, 45. Because I just thought I could be sitting here for another hour and not getting a job. £45 to get me reasonably close to home. I mean, as opposed to going to Blackburn, which is an option, going to Barry was an option, or going to Southampton was an option, or to go to London. So it's crappy money, but it gets me a bit closer to home. Not really close, but a little bit closer to home. And it puts me on 180 for the day. And I've really had to grind that out, that 180. Now the only slight glimmer of hope is that I should be able to get to Duxford in time to possibly bid on a fourth job, because I might be there for about 4 o'clock-ish. So if I can get a fourth job, I might just squeak a reasonable amount of money for the day. But boy is it hard. It really is. This definitely feels like a January and February. Right, I'm gonna leave this here. This is what I mean by the day can sort of get you down. This is a low point of the day, but at the end of the day, I'm actually working still. My wheels are moving. I'm getting a job, so I can't complain too much. And this being bad is nothing like being stressed in an employed job. So the bad bits of this job aren't as bad as even the mild bad bits of other jobs. Anyway, I'm at this point in yesterday's video. So my ETA is going to be at 2:30 at Nuneaton, and then I'm guessing this is an hour and a half. So yeah, I'm guessing around about 4, 4:15 should be reasonable to get to my drop off If it's only a car job, it should only be like an envelope or a small box or something. So it should be really quick to load and unload. Hello, so this bit of the video is me doing a little bit of a rant because I'm quite annoyed with this job. And I think I have a point to make while I'm feeling this annoyance. So, I got chipped down specifically because this was defined as a car job. So I was expecting to turn up and be given a small box or an envelope that can fit on the front seat of my van. When I looked at the notes, having exited the job, it said tailor's dummy. I ended up picking up an item that would struggle to fit in the boot of most cars. It wouldn't fit very comfortably in the front seat of any car. It might fit across the back seat of a reasonably sized vehicle. It's got like a stand with 3 legs, and on top of it is the torso of a small torso that you can use to put jackets on, tailor them. So not only was I chipped down from a fair price to an unfair price because it was a car job. It's not even a car job in my opinion. I think it's been misclassified. It's definitely a small van job. And it makes me think that the shipper is being quite unscrupulous here. And I will remember the name of this shipper, and I won't be doing a job for them unless I get paid a fair rate in the future, no matter how desperate I am. I feel that they've taken advantage of me, and that's what's annoyed me with this particular job. Now, I think that there's a solution to this. At least a partial solution. And that is, I don't understand why there is even a car category on the CX. Because this shipper has used that category as a way to chip down the price. They're basically saying there is a rate for cars that's lower than the rate for small vans. And I think that is absolute nonsense. You could not do this job on the CX just using a car. So why is there even a car option? You'd have to use a car doing another job, let's say Uber or Amazon or Just Eat, and then use the CX to fill in your day if you happen to be needing extra work. But you're not going to be travelling, if you're doing that sort of job, many miles. So you're not going to be travelling, in this case, 66 miles as a backload in a car. So why do we even have car as a category? The only answer I've ever been given on that, which made a little bit of sense, was a shipper used the car option just to give the driver some idea as to the size of the load that it would fit inside a car. But there is a solution to that which already exists, which is you can define the dimensions and weight of your load in the notes of any booking. So you don't need to have a car category, because that just encourages unscrupulous shippers to start thinking there's a lower price for things that would fit in a car. And that has so annoyed me, I had to sort of say it in this form. It's no cheaper to deliver something in a car than it would be in a car drive van or a small van. So these shippers that are using the car category as a way of chipping down drivers is, I think, quite outrageous. And I've been subject to that today. So that was my point. It's not CX's fault, but they could do something about it. They could just remove that option and take away the excuse that some shippers have that they're going to pay less because it's apparently a car job. What utter tosh. Okay, so it's 5 o'clock now. I've offloaded my load in Tuxford. Just a quick in and out. I was there at about 20 to 5, quarter to 5. Making my way now back home effectively. I'm looking for jobs still, but it's highly unlikely it's going to be a suitable job that gets me home. One of the constraints that I have now is that I can't do work the following morning when I'm working. So there is jobs that come up that are local to me in the morning, but I can't do them. So I have to sort of, it's quite stop-start, it's a way of working. Anyway, here are my stats for today. It feels like quite a reasonably demoralising day, I would say. I'm working as hard as I can, being as flexible as I can, but I'm just not making enough money. But my stats today are as follows. Based on 13.51 pence per mile for my fuel, I've driven 344 miles today, 344. I've worked for 11 hours. I have earned from 3 CX jobs £180, 180. I spent £46.47 on fuel, and so after fuel is taken into account, my net earnings for today are £134.134. It's very dark now, and so I'm going to just head home. I'll be home in about an hour or so, and we'll start again on Friday. But it's going to be another bad week, 4th bad week in a row. All of October will have been pretty poor, but we'll have to keep on trying, keep on going, don't give up. I feel foolish saying my usual thing. Not the bit that I'm going to say next, which is thank you for watching my video. I do thank you for that, and that doesn't feel foolish. But the idea of having success in this climate, it seems quite hollow, but I'll say it anyway. I hope that you, at least, are having some success, however you choose to find that word for yourselves. And we're beginning to have to change the definition of success in this climate. Farewell, friends.